Welcome to FPC Radio Live. It's Monday, February the 8th. You know what that means, Mike? 8 is just one number higher than the number of Super Bowl rings that Tom Brady now owns. That's right, folks. If you were living under a rock yesterday, you will know that the Tampa Bay Buccaneers absolutely dominated the Kansas City Chiefs in Super Bowl 55. And boy, Mike, does this just seem all too familiar. This is the 7th time that we have woken up on a Monday morning and Tom Brady is the reigning Super Bowl champion quarterback. Mike, how you doing today, buddy?
I'm doing well this morning, buddy. You know, there's an extra bit of sunshine in the air. There's an extra bit of Christmas in this winter air up here in New England. Not quite the same as when Tom won this in Patriot Blue, but boy, I'll tell you, every bit is satisfying for Tom Brady and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. We'll get into the game and the X's and O's, folks, because there is a ton for us to break down here in terms of how Tampa Bay did this complete team effort. But at the same time, you also look at and you marvel at what Tom Brady has been able to do, winning his 7th Super Bowl title in his 10th trip to the Super Bowl. He now has 5 Super Bowl MVPs. If there is still anyone out there that's clinging to any type of misguided argument that leads you to believe that Tom Brady is anything less than the greatest quarterback that's ever played this game, folks, I don't know what to tell you. Football player, absolutely. I really don't know what to tell you. I really and truly don't know what to tell you anymore. It really is. It's disingenuous. You're showing your hatred more than you're showing objectivity. And I get it from some of the fans. I don't get it from the media. I really and truly don't. But hats off to Tom Brady. The man has put me on the edge of my seat since I first saw him as a fan in 2000 lead a group of ragtag New England Patriots to a Super Bowl title. And no one thought they could do it. No one believed that the Patriots could do that. And now here he is in 2021, still winning Super Bowls. And that Patriot connection was felt very strongly yesterday. And I'll turn the floor back over to you, but I do want a little time. I do want just a little time to toot my horn because my prediction on Locked On Patriots and both here on Friday really came true in a lot of the sense of the word on both sides of the ball. I think maybe Todd Bowles was listening. Maybe, who knows? But no, seriously, pontificate. This is your moment, buddy.
Well, I think we both deserve a lot of patting on the back for each other. I mean, again, I got receipts, but I did predict the Bucks and the Patriots, Brady and the Bucks to win the Super Bowl prior to the season this year. So I'm gonna pat myself on the back. Not to mention, I'm just saying, like I said several weeks ago that Aaron Rodgers will win the MVP. As many expected and came to fruition over the weekend. But Tom Brady was still the best quarterback in the league, and there's nothing that's happened since then that has made me sway. And if anything, the proof is in the pudding, my friend. So one more time, how many Super Bowls?
Not 2, not 3, not 4, not 5, not 6.
Yeah, I can't count on my fingers if you're watching on camera. I was all over the place, but no, it's at this point it's silly. It's almost we sit here and try to put these numbers into context, and all you got to say is Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl and look, this isn't excuse me. This was and we're going to get into this in just a moment. This was an incredible team effort, top to bottom, from the Buccaneers team. Obviously, we're focusing a bit on Tom Brady, the MVP, and of course the quarterback of the team, and one of the biggest factors as to why they are where they are right now. But Tom Brady's 7 Super Bowl titles is more than any franchise in the history of the NFL. That's absurd, and that's one of these silly, ridiculous numbers that, at this point, Tom has lapped the field. He's working on his 2nd lap of the field, and it's getting ridiculous.
7.
Yes. 7, Mike. 7. It's just the number's absurd. We all know the comparison. Joe Montana, he had 4 Super Bowls. That's awesome. Second most of all time. Tom Brady has 7. Almost double that. He's already more than doubled him in Super Bowl appearances. He's doubled the second guy, John Elway, in Super Bowl appearances. He has 5 Super Bowl MVPs, most of any player in any, of all time. For all the Aaron Rodgers fans out there, guess what? Tom Brady just set the record for passer rating in a Super Bowl with 125.8 last night. So there you go. There's another feather in his cap for those who really value passer rating. His 81.8 QBR was another standout number for those who look at those and value those type of numbers. He was great last night, but like I said, I mean, this was a total team effort from start to finish, and unfortunately, you cannot give a tangible piece of recognition, I guess, to the entire defense, but the entire defense just absolutely confused and stymied this Chiefs offense really from the get-go. There wasn't one moment aside from maybe that drive where I think Patrick Mahomes went 4 for 4. He had like 40 yards and they moved the ball a little bit. They obviously settled on a field goal. There was not one moment in that game where the Chiefs looked anything like the quote-unquote Chiefs that we've seen over the last couple of years. And you know what? To me, I'm looking back in hindsight and I'm like, wow, I should have seen this coming, because they did the same exact thing for 3 quarters against them the first time. And I don't want to say cocky. Well, maybe it was cockiness. There's this swagger, I guess, the Chiefs had or carried themselves with coming into this game, and a lot of it bit them in the rear end. And I'm talking specifically about things like, well, guess what? Tyreek Hill doing the backflip and throwing the peace sign in the face of Antoine Winfield. You think he remembered? You think he remembered? That was probably one of the best personal conduct penalties I've ever seen, because if I'm a Buccaneers coach, I'm applauding that, because 1, that had no impact on the actual game itself. The ball had already been turned over. But 2, like, again, Antoine Winfield thought about that, and all these players thought about that. They remembered all these plays, all this talking, all these people picking the Chiefs and saying, how do you stop the Chiefs? How does Patrick Mahomes, the most magically gifted, physically gifted... You know what, Mike? You know what? Patrick Mahomes' case, the talk about him being the GOAT...
Done. Finished.
It's over. It's not even a discussion anymore. It was never really a discussion to begin with. Not yet, at least. For anyone reasonable, anyone with an objectionable mind, when you look at this, would sit there and say, you know what? As great as he's been to start his career, and he has been great, it's far too early to project what he could be based on the guy that's still doing it and is widely considered the greatest of all time. After last night, it's pretty much over for him. Patrick Mahomes and his fans should focus more about his career as opposed to comparing his career to the greatest North American athlete of all these major sports. And look, I'm done, playing nice when it comes to that. It's over. I mean, everyone for years, it's the Michael Jordan of this. He's the Michael Jordan of that. Well, guess what? Tom has more rings than Michael Jordan in a sport not meant for this to happen. Michael Jordan has contemporaries, maybe not in terms of his overall body work, skill, championships, but he has contemporaries when it comes to winning. And no, I'm not talking about Robert Horry. I'm talking about all-time greats, some of the greatest basketball players of all time. Tom Brady doesn't have that. He is so far and above he doesn't have a contemporary right now. He is his own contemporary. His earlier career is the contemporary to his later career. Since the age of 37, Tom Brady has the most playoff wins, or tied for the most playoff wins in NFL history with 16. That would be Joe Montana. Since 37. We joked all the time, and And I'm sorry, Mike, I'm going to let you have your moment here in a moment, but I'm rolling right now. Just let him
No,
roll.
I'm enjoying this. You kidding me? I'm having my coffee. You're on a roll, buddy. Go ahead.
You know, we talk about Tom Brady has 2 Hall of Fame career. He has 3 now. And it's so nicely wrapped up and packaged nicely in his 20s, 30s, and now 40s. I mean, he is, if you want to look at his just post 40 career, you can make an argument he's the best quarterback to ever play the game. After 40. It's utterly absurd that anyone at this point would deny this. And anyone will sit there and say, oh, well, you know, physical gifts this, physical gifts that, arm angles this, arm angles that. I don't care. What does that do? What did Aaron Rodgers' physical gifts get him in the NFC Championship game? Where was that advantage? I didn't see it. I mean, clearly, you know, people have been telling me for years that the reason Aaron Rodgers is better is because his gifts so far surpass what Tom Brady... Well, guess what? Tom Brady beat him. And the only opportunity Aaron Rodgers has ever given himself to beat Tom Brady at the highest possible matchup they could possibly have, he didn't do it, and he played poorly. Patrick Mahomes, twice, 0 for 2. 0 for 2 against Tom Brady. The only win he had against him in New England came on, again, you want to talk about the poor sportsmanship coming out of Kansas City, and I'm talking about some of the players and some of the significant others of some of the players. It goes both ways, because we all remember N'Keal Harry's foot that was not out of bounds, but ruled out of bounds and cost the Patriots a chance to win that game and potentially take one of those bye weeks. So I don't want to hear about the refs. I don't want to hear about this. The Chiefs got dominated by the Bucs defense. Tom Brady dominated the Chiefs defense early on, and in the second half, he did exactly what guys like Jimmy Garoppolo, Ryan Tannehill, Deshaun Watson, Baker Mayfield, and all these guys before them that jumped out to big leads against this unstoppable Kansas City team, but could not finish the deal. Tom Brady finished the deal as he's done so many times, and specifically 7 times in his career. It's incredible, Mike. And again, I'm going to give you your chance right here, because I'm starting to lose my voice, and I feel like I need to go out here on top a little bit. So one more time.
7.
That's all I'm going to say. 7.
I guess right now, maybe we can call dibs on the hashtag 8 is enough. Maybe 8 is not enough when it comes to Tom Brady. That team looked as stout as you could possibly get last night. And look, no one is taken away from what Tom has done last night. And I think you said that eloquently. I don't even want to try to add to that or twist that in any way, because I agree with everything that you said. And look, this is the bottom line is we're seeing greatness and dominance, the likes of which we'll never see again. And it really is amazing to me that people will continue to downplay the accomplishments of what Tom Brady has done, the Brady effect of the mentality that he brought to this Tampa Bay team to get them to believe that they were a Super Bowl contending club. I don't want to hear that, oh, well, you could plug any quarterback into that. Well, they had a decent quarterback last year. They went 7-9 with a guy that threw 30 interceptions. And I'm not saying Jameis Winston, is someone that is capable of leading a team to a Super Bowl, but he's not an also-ran quarterback. This was all about buying into the mentality. You heard the Buccaneers players say yesterday in pregame that the game changed when Tom Brady came in. You heard the excitement in guys like Chris Godwin, Mike Evans, Scotty Miller. When I found out Tom Brady was going to be my quarterback, oh man, things changed automatically. It changes you. It does. And you talk to players. I've talked to several players up here in New England that played alongside Tom that said, there's something different about the way Tom Brady leads his team, and everybody that's played with him can see it and they know it. The great ones have it, and Tom Brady does it better than anyone else. You mentioned the Kansas City Chiefs and what the Bucs were able to do to them last night. Buddy, what it comes down to, it comes down to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers hit the Kansas City Chiefs in the mouth, and the Chiefs did not know how to respond. That's on the defense. That's on the Kansas City coaching staff. You need to be tougher. You need to be mentally tougher, and you need to be physically tougher. I give Todd Bowles all the credit. Absolutely, right there. Bedpan to the head, and they didn't know how to do it. The Buccaneers were stone cold last night, and the Chiefs were Vince McMahon sitting in a hospital bed whining. That's exactly what it came down to. I give so much credit to Todd Bowles last night and the defensive game plan that he put forth. And yeah, I'm taking a little bit of a victory lap, minor victory lap. I was far from the only one to predict it, but it was fun to see that game plan that we talked about here on these airwaves on Friday, and also when you joined me on Locked On Patriots, did come to fruition. What's the best way to take away Patrick Mahomes? Resist the urge to blitz. I said it on Friday. I said it twice. That's the one thing that everybody seems to forget when they play Patrick Mahomes. Oh, you got to blitz him. You got to blitz him. Patrick's too good at picking up the blitz. He'll pick it up. He'll pick it apart. He'll utilize the short game. He'll get this team down the field, and then he'll hit you with a large chunk play that you didn't see coming. Todd Bowles resisted that urge. What did he do? He only played 9.6% of the dropbacks on blitz. That was great. That was really something that he doesn't do most of the time, but Todd Bowles resisted the urge and put that game plan into place. I was so happy to see that he played cover 2 last night, the zone coverage, 2 deep safeties, and when he switched it up a little bit, he played the 2-man coverage, the man match coverage that I talked about on Friday. That essentially allows 2 deep safeties. You allow your best corner to be able to keep pace with some of the weapons that you have out there, but the 2 deep safeties play and they limit what guys like Travis Kelce and Tyreek Hill can do. So that game plan allowed the Kansas City, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers to get pressure on Patrick Mahomes. That was a makeshift offensive line. Patrick was running around for his life pretty much all night. Jason Pierre-Paul, Levante David, just from the linebackers to the front 7 to the defensive front, that whole front 7 really, to me, was one of the more dominant performances that we've seen a front 7 put forth in the Super Bowl. It was very, quote unquote, Patriot-like. It really and truly was. Their game plan was borrowed from what the Patriots were able to do on October 5th when they played this team. Back in 2018 when they played this team. Play them strong, play them smart, play them tough. The difference with the Buccaneers is they had the horses to do it all night long. The Patriots on October 5th did not have that type of talented defense to be able to stay with it and be able to keep the pressure on it. Credit Tampa Bay for utilizing their strength so well. And, on a personal note, I just loved seeing what Antoine Winfield did to Tyreek Hill last night.
Yeah,
That is one time I will break my journalistic integrity and say I loved everything about it.
Yeah.
And I'm just going to leave it there.
Yeah, look, I'm right there with you. Look, I feel like this wasn't. I didn't pick a blowout. I thought it was going to be closer, but the result of what happened, the impact of what the defense did, is not that surprising to me, because I'm sitting here looking at this Chiefs team, and how many times have we seen them behind? And we sit there, oh, they can always come back. They can always do this. Well, like I said before, oftentimes you don't have Tom Brady, on the other end, and I know this has to do a lot with the defensive game plan and how great they played and how they committed to it the entire game. That was the thing. They committed to it regardless of what was going on at the entire game. And this was something I was talking about throughout the week. Not only can they get pressure on Patrick Mahomes, but they can cover the flats and limit any sort of horizontal movement, shifting, motion, anything like that from the Chiefs offense. And you saw it all game. There was times, the Chiefs got a few yards.
Yeah.
But look, Travis Kelce had 10 receptions for 110 yards. I mean, I talk about little impact. I mean, like, really. Like, I'm sitting here thinking, I'm like, and this was, you want to talk about a story within the story. Talk about the discrepancy between Gronk and Travis Kelce in this game. I mean, if anyone needed more proof that Rob Gronkowski is a better overall tight end and not just a big receiver, it was last night, and really throughout the playoffs, if you want to go back to the Washington game where Gronk was exclusively a blocker. But all I saw Travis Kelce do was catch passes in his breadbasket and basically tuck his head and fall forward like a fullback. I mean, am I the only one who saw that repeatedly over and over again? And I'm thinking, I'm like, wait a minute, you need more from Travis. You don't. That's great. You're going to get yards, but I feel like if you're Travis Kelce, you want to go out there, you're going to make more plays than just literally diving forward and taking, what you were given to start. Like, to me, that really stuck out to me, because then you saw Gronk, making the extra effort to get those few plays. And again, the play calling from the Buccaneers and just how the offense was run. Again, a lot of credit has to go to Tom Brady. A lot of credit goes to Byron Leftwich and Bruce Arians, who I've at times criticized the coaching staff, but it's been very clear over the last few months that they have figured things out, obviously, and obviously Tom and the offense have figured things out. So I don't know. It was just a total team dominating effort from start to finish. There wasn't a single part of that game that the Chiefs excelled in my opinion. Not one.
Yeah.
Not one. And at that point, like, was it surprising? Sure, but not really. Not really.
No, I mean, it wasn't. And we talked about this on Friday. The both of us talked about it, and you've been touting this all season long. And I want to give you a lot of credit, because you've been on this train when a lot of people had jumped off. And look, bottom line, when you look at the type of complete effort, and again, on the offensive side of the ball, and this is something that I definitely want to give both of us credit for. We talked about it Friday. We talked about it again when you joined me on Locked On Patriots, utilizing the power run game to be able to open things up. That's exactly what Tom Brady did. That's exactly what Byron Leftwich did. Bruce Arians, these guys deserve a lot of credit for knowing how to attack that Kansas City defense, get them out of their game. Kansas City came out. They played dime. They played big nickel. Very much, I think, very predictable when it came to what they were going to do. Steve Spagnuolo's like, I'm going to dial this up. I'm going to dial that up. I'm going to get him off base. I'm going to catch him off guard. I'm going to put interior pressure on him, and he's going to crumble. And you saw tweets going around. I'm sure you saw them. I saw them too. Boy, I'll tell you, that Steve Spagnuolo was really Tom Brady's kryptonite. Didn't last that long. Nope. It did not last that long. Tom figured it out. He was able to find out what they were doing. He was able to adjust his game, and they were able to adjust their offense. And that's exactly how they were able to have success. Utilize the run, open up play action. Tom was lethal in moments when he needed to be. Did he play a perfect game? No, he didn't play a perfect game, but he played a great game. He played a great game. And having guys like Leonard Fournette and like Ronald Jones that can take the pressure off of you and be able to complement that. Heard all year long about how the Bucs did not have a running game. They did have a running game, and it showed up each and every week, and it got better each and every week. So credit to them.
Yeah. I'm
One thing that
I'm
sorry. Go ahead.
I want to say I'm glad you brought that up, because Leonard Fournette was not great at the beginning of the season. It certainly took him some time, and I criticize at times some of his decision making when it comes to running the football, but throughout the course of the entire, I mean, he was calling himself Playoff Lenny, and others were calling him that, and he deserved it. I mean, he was fantastic every single playoff game, and he came up with some incredibly big plays. Like, look, we said it before, Tom Brady, there's so much that could, I mean, this MVP award that he accepted was really an MVP award for the entire team. He deserved it. He deserved it. And I see people out there now saying, oh, did he really? Well, were you saying the same thing last year with Patrick Mahomes? Okay. He deserved it, but it was such a, again, top to bottom team effort that, you got contributions from every level. And Leonard Fournette was one of those guys. And he was fantastic again last night. And very impactful. We talk about Travis Kelce having 110 yards receiving, and how little impact every single time Leonard Fournette got a big chunk of yards, whether through the pass game or the rushing game. It was a very impactful play, and that was a huge difference.
Yeah, it was. It was absolutely a huge difference. Very, very well said. Buddy, I don't think we'd be doing our job if we didn't mention the white elephant in the room. And that's the officiating. I'm tired of hearing this as an excuse. This is being used a lot. Particularly in Bristol, Connecticut, and other surrounding areas. But a lot of people are using this. Look, bottom line, folks, you can blame officiating all you want to for calls going either way. You get one or two, maybe you have an argument. When you lose 31-9, that's not on the officials. Yeah. That's on you. All right. I'm sorry. That is on you. Stop blaming the first half on the referees. When you get smacked in the face and you don't respond, that's on you. But the same thing is,
Antonio Hamilton never lined up offsides, Patrick Mahomes would have 3 Super Bowls right now.
But I mean, it even goes deeper than that too. I mean, I get it. I get where you're coming from. Believe me when I tell you. But I've seen so much in the last few hours since this game ended. The first half. Oh, they called it. That's terrible. The officiating. They didn't call that all season long. I don't care if they didn't call it all season long. The referees let you know how they were going to call this game. The great ones know how to adjust to that. Tampa Bay adjusted to it. You didn't see them making those types of penalties. The Chiefs did. The Chiefs made them. They didn't adjust to it. They were arrogant. They thought that they were going to throw it back in the official's face, and the officials kept calling them on it. When you line up off sides, you get beat deep, you flail at the receivers, you basically pull a Chris Jones and hit somebody in the face, that's going to be called. That is going to be called. The officials let you know they were going to do that. Again, the Chiefs did not
the Bucs
respond
got
to
in their
it.
head.
Exactly.
I mean, you could tell. You could tell.
They didn't adjust.
Especially in the Chiefs' defensive. I mean, again, I already brought up Tyrann Mathieu, but the Chiefs were undisciplined this entire game. They let the trash talking. And I love the exchange between Brady and Mathieu because, again, I mean, Mathieu, I don't know if you saw this last night, and I don't want to give a lot of credence to rumors or anything like that because I'm sure there's already some ridiculous narratives being thrown out there. But, Mathieu just threw out this, he said something very vaguely and deleted the tweet, which, again, no one in their right mind would ever believe that Tom Brady would ever say anything outside of a football. He probably called him a B word or something. I mean, and in that case, well, yeah, guess what? You were acting
that's why the tweet was immediately deleted.
But the damage is out there.
Damage was done.
Yeah. So to me, this was a utter display of just. I mean, the Bucs knew. We've heard the stories now after the game. Tom was texting everyone. And I don't think this is hyperbole because we know Tom. We've heard stories like this in the past. He was texting everyone that they were going to win. This was an instance, and Michael Robinson, former running back with the Seahawks, he's on Good Morning Football now. He was telling a story about going up against the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl that year where they completely just ran the floor with them. And he said, we watched one quarter of that game and just knew we were going to dominate this team. And this was a team that was, 55 touchdowns from Peyton Manning, so on and so forth. This was, I got the same exact feeling from this game from the Bucs. They saw that first game. They saw what they were coming into. And there wasn't a wavering bit of confidence from any one of those players. And they played like it. And again, this was just a dominating top to bottom game from the Bucs. And part of it was getting kind of like what you're getting to right now is getting into the heads of the defense because it caused them to make mistakes and it caused them to play, out of their element. And let's face it, the Bucs offense is better than the Chiefs defense. So they were playing at a disadvantage just because of their talent level. So on top of trying to make up for that, they had to make up for their own mental miscues and Frank Clark getting into it with Ryan Jensen, who's, if you're a fan of the Bucs, you love Ryan Jensen. I love that he showed up to the Super Bowl. I don't know if you saw this, but he showed up to the Super Bowl with the Brady Combine picture on his on his T-shirt. So that was great. And look, he's a guy who's going to say things. He's going to get you. He's going to take little jabs at you. But he's learned how to keep that composure and not go over the line and draw those other guys in. Because, again, we saw very early on, not only from the scrums, but, there I think it was the big pass to Gronk. Tyrann Mathieu was out of position and immediately turned around, threw his arms up in the air, and kind of tailed off. It's like, yeah, maybe you couldn't have made the play, but if your head was in the game, you keep going after that player. You don't turn around and just, look to blame someone. And right then and there, I'm sitting here thinking, like, yeah, this isn't it. There really wasn't a moment where I felt at any point that the Chiefs were going to come back just based on their play and just how the Bucs are really just in their heads on both sides of the ball.
No, it's true. It's absolutely true. And, that's part of the mental game is part of this. How are you going to respond? How can you respond if someone takes what you do well, throws it back in your face, and forces you to make adjustments? The Chiefs did not adjust in that first half. So for everyone that's crying about the officials today and saying how the officials cost the Kansas City Chiefs a Super Bowl. No, lack of discipline, lack of preparation, lack of ability to roll with the punches is what cost the Kansas City Chiefs a Super Bowl. It wasn't because the officials were one-sided. I'm tired of hearing that. It's a lazy argument. It's an uninformed argument. And to me, it tells a false narrative. And I'm tired of that being used as an excuse to negate what the Tampa Bay Buccaneers did well last night. So that's my 2 cents.
Roll with the punches. What movie was that? Roll with the punch. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah. See, now I got that song stuck in my head. Who sung that? Come on, you got to know, right?
It was REO Speedwagon, wasn't it? Oh no, that was
No, this was it really? Because I think this was a Van Damme movie. I heard this. You got to roll with the punches.
Roll with the punches is a line from Jump by Van Halen. You gotta roll with the punches and get to what's real.
Well, I'm gonna look this up because I know it's probably some obscure 80s band.
No, REO Speedwagon is roll with the changes. Yeah, okay, all right. I gotta hand in my 80s card on that. But
it's all right. We're not in that season yet. We're getting there. We're almost in 80s music season. We're just about there. Look, there was. You look at this and you think, okay, what can this team do next? Well, they have a good chance to, quote unquote, run it back, and no one's going to assume that because we know how hard it is. The last time it happened. It was Tom Brady and the Patriots, 2003, 2004. Since then, there have been two teams, Mike, that have had a chance that weren't led by Tom Brady. Obviously, the Patriots had a chance to go back-to-back in 2016, 2017. That didn't happen. Two teams, the Seahawks and the Chiefs. You know what stood in their way from going back-to-back? Tom Brady. So I think that might mean to him a little bit more than anyone else because anytime a team has an opportunity to go back-to-back, Tom makes sure he is there to prevent that from happening. And another little tidbit, Tom has not gone 2 consecutive seasons without winning a Super Bowl since 2012 and 2013. Come on, man. There's so many of these numbers. We can do an entire hour of just listing these numbers, not even elaborating on them, just listing all these numbers, and we'd fill the entire time. The bottom line is the here and now, Mr. Super Bowl Tom Brady, the best quarterback in the league of all time, and today, and I'm not just saying that because he won a game last night. If anyone's paid attention, I've been saying this for quite some time. The best quarterback in the league today is Tom Brady. He's won 4 of the last 7 Super Bowls. 4 of the last 7. We're not talking about, this isn't a career achievement honor that we're giving him. This is a here and now. There is not a single quarterback in the league that is better than Tom Brady. I don't care that Aaron Rodgers won the MVP. He had a really nice season. That doesn't mean jack to me, okay? Patrick Mahomes, great start to his season. He's not better than Tom Brady. Let's put a absolute, like I said, what did I say earlier, Mike? The whole GOAT conversation talk?
Done. Finished.
That's right. Raymond Calitri says it better than I can. Done. Finished. Over. That's right. Do you know where that's from, Mike? You know where that soundbite's from? Do you know?
No, I actually don't. I'm putting me on the spot.
Gone in 60 seconds, my friend. Gone in 60 seconds. Wow. Yes.
I'm embarrassed to say I don't know that movie as well as I should.
Oh,
no,
that's a good one.
I really should. You're absolutely right on that.
That's a good one.
Yeah.
You do know this, so.
7.
That's right. 7.
Oh yeah,
7.
Of course.
Look though, in all reality, I think just the world in general, the sports commentary world in general, would do wonders from just going back to what it should be and just talk about Patrick Mahomes' career against his own self. Don't stop comparing him to Tom Brady. Stop comparing anyone to Tom Brady. Aaron Rodgers, I'm sorry. No, stop it. We're done. Finished. Over. No more. Aaron Rodgers, no. Drew Brees, no. Patrick Mahomes, no. You know what they all have in common? They all lost to Tom Brady in this playoff run this year. I don't want to hear any more about these.
Yeah, but Ian, just give him one more weapon. All he needed was one more weapon. Come on.
Save it.
The defenses carried him, Ian. They carried him.
That's what I'm going to start doing to anyone.
The defenses, they carried him. You kidding me? He's the load. He's lucky. Idiots.
It really is. I mean, again, I've tried to show some patience when it comes to any of these debates prior to this weekend. I'm done. There's no patience left in me to deal with these debates. It's just because there is none. There is none. This isn't, these are always subjective. No. It's over. It's finished. There is not a single person in the league right now who is on quote-unquote pace. Maybe that person will come eventually, but he's not in the league right now because guess what? As impossible as it would have been for Mahomes to climb that mountain had he won this game, he did not. He did not. And he has 2 playoff losses at the highest possible level you could have played against each other. The AFC Championship game in 2018 and now the Super Bowl. Both to Tom Brady. How is he ever going to overcome that? Because, yes, championships matter. He is going to have to replicate in some way, form, or fashion what Tom Brady has accomplished. And at this point, that means what? At least 7 or 8 championships? Well, good luck. Good luck. Good luck. Because to me, that's near impossible. That's near impossible. I can't predict the future. I can't see whether or not what's going to happen, but we saw this year how hard it is to win back-to-back Super Bowls. We saw coming into this game how unstoppable the Kansas City Chiefs looked. Well, guess what? They were stoppable. And it is hard to win Super Bowls unless you're Tom Brady. And that's really it. That's what it comes down to. It is hard. It is the hardest trophy to win in all of sports unless you're Tom Brady. Unless you're Tom Brady, Mr. Super Bowl. So I don't want to hear any of it. If you try to make an argument for any other quarterback, whether it's Aaron Rodgers, Peyton Manning, Otto Graham, who knows, Willie Smith from 1925, the guy who won 10 straight Polk High state championships. I don't care. There's not a single person anymore that you can even remotely make a case for. I don't care if it's
maybe Al Bundy.
That's
Al Bundy.
That's
4 touchdowns in one game. Come on.
4 touchdowns. Yeah. If it wasn't for my extra TB12 shirt that I did not sweat through yesterday during the game, I would be wearing my Polk High t-shirt right now. But yes, it's over. It's finished. Maybe years from now, there's another guy that'll come along that'll maybe approach that. But, at this point, there's no one that's on pace to do it right now. And them's just the facts, my friend. Because guess what?
If Tom Brady wasn't living, y'all could be in the Super Bowl.
Just say it.
You're right. I mean, really. I mean, what more can you say?
Say that one more time.
You are right.
I like that. Sorry, that was a personal little ego boost for myself.
Yeah,
right there.
that's going. Yeah, and that is going to be a soundbite, folks, on FBC Radio Live. I'm predicting for a minimum of 2 years. I'm just saying, this is going to be like 2 years from now. We're still going to be playing that, and that's going to be the way it is.
I'm putting that on my gravestone. You kidding?
Yeah, absolutely. You are right. But I mean, bottom line again, that debate, that whole argument has been settled so many times. I mean, how many times is Tom Brady going to have to settle this argument? He settled it after Super Bowl 49. Oh, well, Tom, is done with it.
Real quick, I tweeted yesterday. Remember when Tom Brady became the GOAT 3 Super Bowl wins ago?
It's true. It really, really is. I mean, and every year, and then there was another, and I don't want to take credit for this because this is not my thought. This was something that I read on Twitter, and I can't credit the person right now. If anybody knows where this tweet is from, please let me know. I'll be glad to give them credit. Everybody out there taking a victory lap tonight, talking about how Tom Brady is the GOAT until tomorrow when everybody decides that he's not anymore, and we have to begin this all over again. That's exactly what's going to happen. You know as well as I, this is exactly what's going to happen. This is a guy that's always going to have to sing for his supper for whatever reason. That's going to be the stigma attached to Tom Brady all his career is, oh, well, there was always a reason why he did it, where everyone else gets the immense, enormous credit for doing it single-handedly. Tom Brady has always been the one that's been carried. It's simply, folks, because he's done it better and he's done it more than anyone else. And most fan bases out there, I used to say 31 other fan bases, but 30 other fan bases out there right now just can't handle it. They just can't handle it. That's really what it comes down to.
He's twice in his first season as a team starter, taken a team that the year before was under 500 to a Super Bowl victory in his first year as a starter. Patriots in 2000 were 5-11. He was on the team, but he didn't start or play. I mean, aside from a very brief cameo on Thanksgiving. And obviously the Bucs last year, he wasn't on the team, but they were 7-9. And guess what? Tom Brady rolls in 11-5 in this first. Well, the team record was 11-5 in that season. What am I talking about? I don't know what I'm talking about. I completely screwed that up. But regardless, Tom came in and completely just flipped around the fortunes of those two franchises. And look, I don't think we're getting another run like the Patriots because hey, let's face it. I don't really think Tom's going to play another 15 years, but he looked like the youngest guy on the podium yesterday. And
at this point, I'm not ruling anything.
I said this a couple years ago because so many people were clinging on to, well, he like last year was their kind of their quote unquote victory lap. His age is finally caught up to him. I'm done with age. Maybe, like I said it last week, maybe someday age will catch up to Tom Brady. Maybe. I'm not assuming it anymore. Because guess what? He's 43. And he's already defied and just completely changed the entire... I don't know. There's no age argument that you can make anymore about Tom Brady. Tom Brady's Tom Brady. Age is not a factor when it comes to Tom. Father Time, take a lap. All right? He's not ready. You're going to have to wait. Father Time will come around when Tom Brady decides it's time. Not when Father Time does. When Tom Brady decides. This isn't a option for Father Time. So go take a seat. Enjoy your time off. You got plenty of time to relax and rest before you actually have to work Father Time. To me, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He's the best quarterback in the game today. He's the best quarterback of all time. He's the best football player of all time. If you want to make this cross-sport argument that he's the greatest team athlete of all time, I'm not going to argue with you. Because how can you? How can you? I don't know. Like, I'm enjoying this. I know there's a lot of people that we mutually follow and know that obviously are enjoying this. For those who could not, and I'm talking to Patriots fans, for those who could not get on this wagon and enjoy this run for Tom, I feel bad for you because it's an incredible feeling that we're all too familiar with when it comes to following Tom Brady, and that's winning championships. And you know what? You know what, Mike? It would not surprise me if they are back next year. I mean, they're going to be a better team next year. Conventional wisdom says so, based on having a normal offseason. So
it's true. It wouldn't surprise me at all. Look, bottom line, and this team doesn't have a ton of cap space available, but they may be able to get guys in on a veteran minimum, people that want to go there, play with Tom Brady, and win a ring. Boy, that sounds familiar. Where have I ever heard that before? No, in all actuality, I mean, they can build. They have the strong nucleus when it comes to a championship caliber defense. We saw that last night. These guys can win a championship based on their defense. And you look at the offense, and for everybody that says that there were more talented offenses out there, I'm kind of hard-pressed to find one. Prove to me there's a more talented offense out there right now than what we saw in Tampa Bay last night. And that includes the Kansas City Chiefs. I think you saw maybe a little bit of a blueprint laid down on how to beat those guys. Now, it's going to be incumbent upon Kansas City in the offseason. Can they build on this? Can they get smacked in the mouth? And can they come back tougher? I'm going to take this in a completely different direction, show my age here, but I'm going to go back to the Los Angeles Lakers, Boston Celtics of the early to mid 1980s.
I really started to get turned on by.
Thank you very much. Yeah, you've been dying to put that in there, haven't you? I know you're dying to put that in there. But in any case, I remember watching an interview with Magic Johnson, and anybody that saw the 84 finals or has seen tape of the 84 finals, and no, folks, I wasn't old enough to watch it live, but I've seen tapes of it. And the 84 Celtics just manhandled the LA Lakers. The Lakers came in, glitz, glamour, fashion, high power, great, really like they were the glamour team. The Celtics were the gritty team, and they won the 84 championship because they smacked the Lakers in the mouth a little bit, and the Lakers didn't know how to respond. Magic Johnson basically cloistered himself that whole offseason and said, I'm going to work on getting my team tougher and getting my team ready to handle that, and we're going to put it back in their face. Credit the Lakers. I mean, for a Celtics fan, it's very difficult, to believe, but the Lakers came back the following year and they beat the Celtics at their own game in that finals. Something that the Kansas City Chiefs are going to have to do if they want to be taken seriously as a team that could be considered the next dynasty. If they curl and they fold and we never see that greatness from Kansas City again, then we're looking at a team that basically was overrated by the media, by fans, and really, I think, ascended to a level that maybe they didn't belong to be put on. There's a lot of talent on that team. Now we're going to find out where the heart is because we didn't see it last night. The Kansas City Chiefs did not have the heart of a champion last night. They got hit hard, and they did not know how to respond. Can they rebound from that? I think they can, but we'll see what happens. Bottom line, congratulations to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Offense, defense. Maybe someday we'll get into special teams. I don't know. Special teams was a little bit of an anomaly last night. I wasn't all that impressed with the punting that they did. I did tweet out during the game, if the Patriots are looking for a silver lining in last night's game, you definitely got the goat of punters right now in Jake Bailey, because the punting on both sides of the unit was just not good. But those are my closing thoughts, buddy. Take it away.
Paul Herzog rolled with the punches. That was the song I was thinking of. Of course, Paul was a staple when it comes to 80s Van Damme style movie music. So just wanted to throw that out there before we close out the day. Because
I'm sorry. Before we sign off, very, very quickly, condolences to the ESPN family and the Gomez family on the unexpected passing of Pedro Gomez, longtime baseball reporter for ESPN. No information yet on the cause of death. I never had the opportunity to meet Pedro in this business, but I know several of my colleagues that I work with have, and just somebody that really always looked like he was enjoying his job from everything that I've read. Dedicated family man. Terrible tragedy at 58 years old. I lost my father at the age of 58. And it's a little bit of a bitter pill to swallow when you think of someone that young not having the opportunity to live into his twilight years. So condolences to their family, and sad news on the passing of Pedro Gomez.
Absolutely. I'm glad you did bring that up because, again, that was... It just kind of, in the backdrop of, the closing of the game, because that news kind of broke at the end, and just sad, especially since it seemed as though he was tweeting just several hours before. So that's going to do it for us today. We will be back tomorrow. It's Tuesday, which means we're going to talk to John Sapichetti, and that should be fun. I'm sure he's going to agree with every single thing I say from the moment I open my mouth tomorrow to the end of the show. So definitely tune in for that. Give us a follow on Twitter, because I've been training for this all season. I'm taking victory laps all day, so give me a follow on Twitter at IGLEN31. Of course, follow my man Mike at MDABATEFPC, at FPC Radio Live, at Full Press Radio, and of course, head over to fullpresscoverage.com, fullpresshockey.com, and download the Full Press Coverage app, available on the Apple and Google Play stores. Have a great day, folks. We will see you and talk to you tomorrow morning.